your business you don't put out there.
Oh, good. Oh, no, it's being lost.
Uh-oh. All righty. Now I'm gonna jump on live on IG, but I'm gonna get off in no time.
That's fine. Take your time.
All right, Stephen, I am so happy to have you with us again. And I look at you working. Stop working.
Hands up. Hands up.
You remember that count to five and the teacher started saying 5, 4. No, I'm just messing with you. I could have given you a better warning, but I almost feel like there's no need to give you an introduction because you've been on this platform with me before. You're a very well-known guy. And so before I even get that far, because let's be clear, I'm always getting ahead of myself. Let's go back just a tad bit and give some reminders. So I want to give some announcements, guys, and tell you guys about what we have going on with Happy Hour with HR and with HR period. So where we are right now is we've come a long way with Happy Hour time. For everybody that's kind of been out here doing Happy Hour with me for a little bit, like we've come a long way. I can't say I started like maybe the summertime, going live repetitively by myself. And over time, it just has changed. So since we've started having guests on, we've had Corey Jones, who's a talent acquisition specialist with Google. We've had Jenny Braun, who's an HR manager, and she is also the CEO of Jenny's Plans. We've had Miss Taylor. She's also an HR generalist in her career and has worked in that career for a decade or so. And then we had Bree on. She's a life and business coach, and she's helped us in several ways with getting our life together. And now we're kind of looking at the future. So we took a little break. It was the holiday time. Everybody should enjoy spending time with their family and not necessarily like paying attention to digital devices. Just enjoy time with your family. And on that little break is where we paused for maybe 2 weeks, came back now. And tonight, I'm going to introduce our amazing guest or reintroduce him. But let me go ahead and tell you guys about next week. Next week, we're going to have Sean Stewart of Full Circle Fitness so he can tell us how to shed off these holiday pounds and to manage our weight while we're working from home consistently. So we're so excited to have him on next week. And then we have, after that, I'm just going to be on by myself. I hope y'all don't mind because I wanted to just celebrate my 1-year anniversary with HR. So we're going to definitely do a quick celebration on the 28th. Instead of going on Thursday that time, we're going to do Tuesday. So tonight with Stephen is Tuesday. The night of my 1-year anniversary, that will be Tuesday. But other than that, we like staying on Thursdays because we like keeping happy hours towards the end of the week. And then we also have upcoming Nina. Her YouTube channel is called The Nina Story, but she's an HR specialist up in, I believe, like the New York, Connecticut area. So she will be on with us on January 13th. So without further ado, I want to tell you guys all about who you guys demanded that I bring back on here. And I don't blame you. It was so worth it. If it worked out once, you may as well just double it up and give it a second time, right? So we have Stephen Kohn on again tonight from Excel Realty. He's the broker in charge there of, and I probably should let him give us updates because if you guys aren't following Stephen on YouTube, on Facebook and on IG, then y'all missing out. And we're going to hit on a couple of his posts tonight, but I'm going to tell y'all, he get me right every time I get on social media. Like he giving me some knowledge, dropping gems first thing in the morning. And I'm always like, oh my God, this is so perfect. So if you guys aren't following him, then you don't know that he's creeped up over 80 agents on his team now. And I think when he was on with us, he was at 81. And I believe right now he's at
84.
84. Oh my God. I was like, good thing I let you say the number. I was about to say 83. But anyhow, so now he's at 84. And it wasn't very long ago that he was on. So obviously he's still recruiting.
Very true.
I figured he is. But y'all, I definitely have Stephen on tonight. Stephen, can you tell the gang hi?
Hey, everybody. Hey, HR.
Love it, love it, love it. And how about you telling us? Okay, so let me give this quick story, real quick, real quick.
Mhm.
I was going to get the drinks for my sister's wedding, right? And I got into the store, and the lady was like, she saw me just looking around because I'm trying to find a variation, and she said, if you're looking for Hennessy, it's over here under the cabinet. And I was like, no, no, no. And she said, well, if you're looking for such and such, it's down here. So she showed me everything under the cabinet. And I was like looking all around. And finally I looked up at her to address her. And I saw 1738 behind the counter. I said, that Stephen ain't playing. He, he is not even on the counter. Like, he got to ask for his drinks, y'all. So please tell the group, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking 1738 once again. Martin 1738.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Signature choice drink. Very smooth. Definitely don't have any hangovers, so good to go.
Oh, I might have to try that out. But I'll try it out when I go to one of them bougie parties where they got. Okay, I'm just bar shit. No, I'm just messing with you. But yes, I looked up and I immediately thought about you. I died laughing. So y'all know I got my little red blend, but I've been trying this brand called Cupcake. And it really like hitting the spot. So I kind of like it. I bought it for my sister. She likes kind of like the fruity drinks and stuff like that, like what is everybody's like favorite? But anyhow, all these clear fruity drinks, and I'm more of a red blend girl, but I like it in a red blend. So anyhow, Stephen, I thank you so much for coming back on with us, and I thank you so much for not, thinking of it as time away from other things you can be doing, because we know that you're a very, very busy man. So I'm so happy that you're on with us tonight. I thank you for sharing your knowledge. I thank you for being on the last time. And I thank you for everything that you're about to bless this group with, because I know that they're going to be blessed. Now, I don't know if you intend to do this, but we can't see you or hear you right now, Stephen. Is that intentional? Okay. So we went into IG and we put out there so that you guys can ask questions, right? And so we gave you guys an opportunity to do that. We're going to hit on a couple of those questions, but I don't want y'all for a second to think that if you didn't submit your questions ahead of time, you can't have questions. You definitely can. So you definitely can just put them into the chat. If you guys don't say anything in the chat, we don't know that you're there. And before we dive into questions, Stephen, you see anybody in the chat you may know?
Let me look.
Okay. Oh, wow. The chat pretty quiet tonight, huh? Which we're not upset about, but we definitely want to say hi to Bree. Bree was on with us before. Bree is a life and business coach. So she helps you get your life organized. She helps you with kind of road mapping your plan, not only for your business, but obviously to have a good business. Sometimes you need a balanced life. So Bree helps us in those places, but I'm pretty sure as folks jump on, they will jump into the chat. But one question that we had was, what was some of your tips or advice on like recruiting and hiring staff, which I think is so fitting. But as an entrepreneur, what are some of your tips and like the things that you've seen work, your successes, your failures on adding to your team, building your team?
So I always like to find out who they are and begin with the end in mind. So I always like to think about how are they going to fit in the culture? So it's not just about their skills and their characteristics. It's about how will they play with the rest of the team. Yeah. So sometimes you may have somebody that may be overqualified, and they may be and this personality may be a high D. Well, I might not be looking for that right now, right? I may have too many of those, and when you have too many of those, they can clash. Which is a detriment to your organization and your operation. So I like to go off of, hey, let me make sure that you're the right fit for our culture. And then I also obviously want to make sure they have the right credentials. But then I want to make sure that they want to go somewhere. They don't want to be here 20 years, 15 years in the same position. I want to make sure that they are ready to be developed into the next level, because that's where I want to take them. So I want to make sure they have the same investment into us as we have into them.
Oh, good. Like a mutual agreement. you know? Yeah, not you coming in here and just making sure to sell houses, but that it's a mutual agreement. No, I definitely agree. And I think that was so good to hear you say start with the end in mind, because it definitely has been that way for me with being like over a decade of working in human resources, and now I'm being a full-time, like dedicated talent acquisition specialist, which I've never done before. I've always done full circle HR, but now that I'm in this space, it's when folks are asking me tips, and the way I'm going to answer this question is when folks are asking tips on like, how do I add to my team? How do I recruit the right people? There are two things I want, which is very similar to yours. Know what it is that you need out of this person. So that's thinking with the end in mind. Right now, luckily, you're in a position where you're pretty niche down to the type of talent that you're looking for. But there's a lot of folks that's in the space where, and I'm pretty sure you need this talent too, but people are looking for folks to manage like their social media, maybe their email marketing, maybe a lot of their digital stuff, things that weren't previously a job before or a task before. And so I always tell people, please, first, pay attention to what you're doing that makes you feel like you need help. Because sometimes you bring people in and then you still keep doing the work. No, just start bulleting out like what it is that you need done. It's almost like you're creating a job description, but don't even make it that formal. Just as you're going through your work, tally a list of things that you just feel I can be so much more effective if I had this off my plate. And so that's how you'll kind of build the description for that. And once you build that, then it can tell you not only just how to tell somebody what you're looking for, but how to find your talent. Because people think that if I just post it out on my social media, if I just put it in Indeed, if I just put it in my email list, that I'm gonna get a flood of applicants. Y'all got companies out there that are huge, have been in the game for 40 years, 50 years, working in multiple places, and they still put a job application out there and don't get a ton of applications. So marketing is huge. I don't know if you guys realize how big your brand is. You guys can see Steven all the time. Right now he has on his Excel shirt, that's not his entire brand. His brand is coming out here on this platform and giving us knowledge. His brand is going out there and educating us through his posts all the time. His brand is like educating his community with his quarterly classes or monthly classes that he's doing. His brand is doing his networking events. And all of those places, he's constantly branding himself so that he's known for more than just selling houses. So make sure that y'all put your company out there in a space where people know your company before they come. That way you can easily vet down to a culture fit, just like Steven said. But that was awesome. So I definitely am I think that we had a good time to talk about this. And if you feel like, you have any tips about timing on when to think about this topic, then let folks know. But I'm pretty sure that now that you are in this space, you find yourself preparing for the new year a tad bit differently. So give us some of your tips on how you've navigated preparation, planning, goal setting for upcoming years for not just you, not just your personal life, but also your company.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So I love consistency, but it's something that I also fail at in certain things. So because of that, I changed my mindset about how I approach this new year and how I approach new goals. So goals are really something that people see you achieve. And I think I want to shift it to a commitment. So now I'm making 2022 commitments, because a commitment is something that you earn. So it means that you have to wake up every day saying, this is something that I'm going to make happen. A goal is just, you're just going to write it down, and when you get to it, you're going to get to it. But a commitment, it takes some extra effort to make that happen. And once you achieve it, it's a different feeling too, because you know the hard work it took to get there. You know the grind that it took. You know the hustle that it took. You know the sacrifice that it took. So it's way more self-fulfilling when you can commit to something and then achieve it, rather than just writing down a goal and saying, hey, I'm going to do this by the end of the year. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's no different than the covenant you make with the Lord. People think of their commitments. or it's no different than a marriage, right? So we get into these relationships, and to some degree we're dating, so we might not be doing the full commitment, right? But as we approach into more of marriage, then we're thinking about things a whole lot differently. So when we sign a paper, it's definitely more of a commitment, right? So you're moving a little bit differently. So it's the same thing, in my opinion, like with your goals, is that, just like you said, instead of just a list of goals, I got a commitment here. And once you commit to it, you knock it out. I know I think of it this way, and you tell me if it should be differently, but I would think, and in my small little journey of starting in the road of entrepreneurship, I think of it too as not a full year, but as quarters. So I read this book, and recently am reading this book, haven't quite finished it, called The 12-Week Year. And it's saying how you can fulfill that whole year within a quarter. So that way, if you fall short, you don't feel like you've lost the whole year. You still have, in this case, 3 more years to go. So if I mess up first quarter, I still got 3 more years that I can fit it. So I think it's all about a mindset shift, actually. Goals mapping, goal planning. It's all about a mindset shift. And it's like, if you can get your mind fixed on what's important to you and what you think you should do, to get there, or what, like Stephen said, what type of commitment you have, then it shouldn't be a problem by any means getting there. If you're working with a company, or leading a company, or working for a company, or talking about your personal life, we need to think about this in a full circle, because sometimes we think if we set goals for our business, then we should be good. But in actuality, we ain't work on self. So how can you be committed to something, and sometimes you ain't even committed to yourself? So folks got to pay attention that it's a full on commitment all around the room. So Stephen, the last time that you were on, I had so much feedback. Like, people really enjoyed your energy. People really enjoyed just the way that each question I had for you, or the audience had for you, you didn't respond with something like, oh, just do this, this, and this, and you'll be there. Or just read this book and it'll tell you all about how to map out your business, anything. All of your things were so intangible. Like, they were just all about things that you have to, it showed your integrity. It showed your morals, your values. And I just appreciated that so much. Was there anything from the last time that you were like, you got off and you were like, man, dang, I forgot to tell the people this, I forgot to tell the people that? Anything in your mind that it kind of just hit you? I know it's been a while. We've gone through the holidays. Now your mom's birthday.
Yeah. No, this is good. So I think I do remember the energy was great. I enjoyed it. It made me think about a lot of different things. And I was like, oh, you know what? I need to talk about this more. I need to do this more. But one of the things that really stuck to me was when we were just talking about mindset. And one of the things that I wanted to mention that I failed to mention that night was, I say this all the time, but you have to protect your mind, protect your peace, but it's about what you talk about, what you think about. So garbage in, garbage out is what I say, right? So if you taking garbage in, that could be from reading, that could be from social media, that could be from just passive listening, on the radio. It's just what you're bringing into your brain is essentially what comes out. You're not really protecting it. So how can you expect something positive, or a blessing, or a positive idea to make you, successful in life to happen, when you're not bringing those things into your body, into your mind, into your soul, right? So it's about what you're feeding yourself. So one of the things I like to think about, especially when I relate, and you mentioned this earlier, but I relate business development essentially right with personal development. You can't grow in business until you grow in yourself, right? So if you can't do that, then you have to figure out, how do you describe yourself? Like, who are you? Like, what is the one thing or a couple things that you want to be described as?
Mm-hmm.
If I was to ask you, what would you want somebody to say, right? And then if I ask them right now, is it satisfactory to you? Is it enough? Could there be more, right? So you always hear the analogy about, you're born one day and you die one day, and what what's the dash? What's in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you want them to say at your eulogy, right? What do you
Yes.
say in the between? So what do you do at that time in between? And so this is where this commitment piece comes in. It's like, what are you committed to changing, right? Because you don't just grow up or just become this person, this entrepreneur, this millionaire, this whatever, right? You go through so many different things before you actually reach your purpose. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it starts with like one change in mindset. And I wouldn't even say, and I would say a change meaning you gotta want it. It gotta be
Mm-hmm.
something that push you to it. So, sometimes like God will take you to a point just to show you like, hey, I already told you what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Like, why are you over here? And I told you to be over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he will
Mm-hmm.
force you to get back on your, to your purpose, on that road to your purpose. One quote that I like to talk about, Max Dupree says, one of the greatest thing at any moment is to be willing to give up who we are in order to become all that we can become.
Wow.
So if you think about it, it's that one time that you just give up who you think you are, right? To become who God told you to be. So in that moment is where I think that the greatest change comes, which ignites the fire that you need to be committed to who you want to become, who you're supposed to be. And that's where you get that dash. That's where you spend your time in that dash, because now you know it, right? But then it's not just about you knowing it, it's what are you going to do with it? And then when you get there, what's next? So a lot of entrepreneurs get to the point where, or not even just entrepreneurs, people in general, they get comfortable, they get to a place. I checked off all these boxes, right? But they only checked off the boxes because they're comparing it to somebody that they know is that hadn't done that.
Oh yeah. Right? Oh yeah.
They know that hadn't done that. So they'll check the box, and it makes their pride and ego go up, not realizing that, bro, there's way more. There's way more.
More.
There's another level that you haven't even tapped to. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that when you're saying this, hey, what'd you do? What was the day that you seen this happen? It's a process over time, isn't it? It's a process to get rid of of that old self.
It absolutely is. And I tell people all the time, like, if you told me I'd be running like a 7-figure business, I pay over $1 million in commissions to my agents this year, like I probably would laugh in your face. Like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I'd be like, not me. Like it might be somebody else, but not me, right? I was cool where I was making good money. Like I was cool. This was not me. But today, it is me. And you're not even realizing, like, hey, you know what? That's actually more for you. And, you're going to have to turn this over to somebody else, because now that just puts you in position to go even higher. And higher as a servant leader, it's really hard sometimes, because you gotta, you get to a point where you're just working, you serving, right? But God just has so much like hold on you that you just can't go. You can't let go. You can't stop. You can't just say, I want to give up, right? I think I wrote a post
vision.
Yeah, I think I wrote a post before, like, y'all know how many times that I wake up and be like, I'm done with this. Like, this is it, right? This is like, I'm calling it quits. I quit. Like, no, I'm not doing this, right? But I realize how many people depend on me, right? Not just my family, but my family depends on me. My agents depend on me. Our clients depend on me. But it's somebody out there that I can reach that I haven't met yet. And until I meet that one person, until I satisfy their goals and their solutions and their needs, I got to continue to work. But the good thing is, I don't know who that person is. So it looks like I'm going to be working until
a long time.
Long time, right?
Yeah.
A long time. So I think, I just think that it's something, again, it's a mindset thing that you got to be comfortable with. You got to be consistent with. And then, it has to challenge you too. So, people set goals. I know we in the business, like goal setting time. Now, people say, hey, in 2022, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Right? Okay, it's good to set a goal. It's good to set a commitment. Well, what's the plan to get there? Right? Is a plan even attainable? Does it even make sense? Right? And is it challenging enough? Because, okay, let's take, for example, I'm in real estate, right? So our agents mostly do goal production in terms of units. So they'll say, hey, I want to sell 20 houses this year, right?
Oh.
So, okay, I'll say, well, okay, you want to sell 20 houses. First of all, why? Like, what does 20 houses do for you? Like, what's the significance of that number? How much money is that going to produce you, right? Because maybe you can do less units and more volume. So figure out, like, what is it that at the end that you're going to say, hey, okay, I made it, right? Because if I just do 20 houses, to me, there's nothing at the end that's going to say, okay, I'm done, other than just seeing that 2-0 under my, production number. But what ties to that? Like, what's the impact? That's the piece that we got to think about in goal setting and commitment setting, is what's the impact to the end user or who's the receiver.
And you've been when you started, right? You were able to get all these agents on in no time, which means you had already did something that had attracted them to you prior to you starting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to know, like, over time, and I see you always posting, like, your top seller of the month or your star player, what have you. Like, and I see the different metrics and I think it's amazing. But over time, what has been the biggest thing that you've seen where you've like, I'm doing my passion. I'm doing what I want to do. Like, any reaction you've gotten from your agents, any reactions you've gotten from your clients, any time that you can remember in your workspace that you're like, oh my God, this is what I'm working for.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually read you something. I got a message yesterday at 3:50. And so it's crazy that you just asked this question. So it's one of my agents. I ain't gonna call her out, but it's one of my agents. And she messaged me on Facebook. She said, just want to let you know that I attended a Women in Real Estate Summit today. And the majority of the vendors and agents who knew you spoke very highly of you. Just thought I'd let you know, keep doing what you're doing, because people are definitely watching and lifting your name in rooms you don't know. Proud to be a part of your team, and I promise to make you super proud in 2022. Like,
oh man,
so
that just got to me.
Yeah, so that was one of my agents, right? And so she hit on a couple of things. So it's people out there that I've impacted at some point, that just obviously understand like my passion, and they understand that I help in any and everybody. But for one of my agents to recognize that, hey, like, my leader is being talked about in other rooms that he's not even in. This is a women's summit. Like, why is his name even being brought up, right? But they understand it. Another example. Last week we were at a Charleston Real Producers. It's a real estate magazine. It was a holiday party, and an agent, she's a broker. She has been here. I mean, she's been in real estate a long time. She moved to another market, and she was doing both. She walked up to me. I have not seen her in person ever. Like, I've never met her until this day, right? I've seen her on Facebook a million times. We talk on Facebook, but I haven't seen her in person. She walked up to me. It's me and my wife. She walked up to me. She says, "You," and I was like, "Hey," right? Like, I was like, "Hey, you? Yes, it's me. Hello." And she was like, "You," she said, "You wrote a post on Facebook and it made me, the post said something about stop being stupid." And she was like, "And that made me move back home from New Jersey."
Oh, wow.
Because she had moved to another market. She was here. She was doing very successful. Moved to another market, trying to penetrate that market, but spreading herself thin, obviously. numbers starting to go down, but still trying to stay afloat, right? But what she realized was that that wasn't a smart idea at all. Like, there wasn't enough planning into that move before she did it. So, but what she realized was, hey, I need to stop being stupid. And that's what people, I say that all the time. Don't be stupid. Do the right thing. You know what you're supposed to do. You know what's not working, right? Just cut your losses and come back. And that brings me to another thing. A lot of people get into business and get into certain things, and they know it's not their passion. They know they don't even like doing it, right? But they too afraid to stop doing it, or they're too afraid to shut that business down because they're worried about the perception of others, or what somebody's gonna say, right? Oh, they had a failed business. Oh yeah, she ain't got that business no more. He ain't got that no more. Oh yeah, I heard X, Y, and Z, right? Instead of cutting your losses now and going into what you really are supposed to be into, your purpose, right? A different mindset, something that you're passionate about, something you got a gift in. Instead of being, smart, you just stuck. You stuck paying all the bills, doing, making all the wrong decisions because you're worried about perception. You know what she was? She was brave. She realized that this is not working. Here's what I'm going to do to fix it, because I already know what works. I was already doing what works before I left. Right? So let me capitalize on that and double down on that. If you think about it, what's some of the good things that you are good at, right? I promise you, if you focused on that, double down on that next year, you would go crazy. Business would be crazy.
Let's be honest. You said that in the right way, absolutely correctly. But I've noticed that people are so busy looking at what they can get out of something that they don't even think about the fact that you got to do what you enjoy. Like, your passion will make the work so much easier. I think like the direction you're going is absolutely okay. You're absolutely correct. The bad thing about it is people don't take the time to say what it is that I enjoy doing. You got to remember, we come from generations where they're not accustomed to doing what they enjoy doing. They enjoy just going to work. I can do this because I have the ability to do it. I go to work. Because I have the ability to do the side hustle, I do it. Because I have the ability, they don't think about, what do I actually enjoy doing? What do I wake up going to work to do and I don't feel like I'm working? What do I not mind continuing to do on my worst days when I don't want to do a damn thing? But at the end of the day, this still brings me joy, so I must still do it. So people don't realize that that's where their passion is. It's something as simple as people pivoting in their careers. I have people, and I probably should talk about this. My best friend, she just went to, Tara. She went to work in Africa, and she was like, yeah, but I need to figure out something, because she's really exhausted with going there. She spends, 3 months home, and then she's there for 3 months, and it's that constant rotation for forever. And so a good example is her. People like her who've done this for 15 years, and now you want to pivot into a new career. And then they're like, well, I just need something that's paying me where I am, or I just need something that's going to take care of my bills, or I just need something where I can work from home, or I just need, not saying those are her excuses, but these are some of the excuses I hear from people. And I'm like, no, what is it that you enjoy doing? Like, what is it that you truly enjoy doing? And then it won't feel like work. And the craziest thing about it is, now that I'm working in the tech industry, where we're hiring folks that are social media managers, SEO managers, that's all social media too. And like, I'm in such a social media and tech space. It's so crazy. I was talking to one of my hiring managers who's hiring for particularly social media positions, right? And like, I'm hiring also for so many things, like lead gen specialists, sales managers, and it's all digital stuff. Like, our products are all online. It's business to business type of work. So it's so crazy, because I was talking to this hiring manager today, and we were just talking about about the position, what she was seeking for, what type of person she was seeking for, what drive she was looking for, what type of passion for the work she was looking for. And I was explaining to her, like, we just started talking about our journey to where we are. And she was like, yeah, my daughter asked me over the holidays, like, what did I think I would be doing. Like, did I dream of what I'd be doing when I was younger? And she was like, I couldn't dream of what I was going to be doing because it didn't exist. And it's like, you have to have that kind of mindset where you thinking out the box. Like, people think, well, what I enjoy doing, I can't get paid for. Hell yeah, you can. There's so many jobs that you truly can get paid for what you enjoy. I think that's the biggest thing. People don't understand that passion is derived from simply what I like doing.
Yeah. And it makes it so easy. I mean, I put it like this. When you do things that's easy, life is harder. But when you do it hard, life is easier because you sacrificing, you doing you grinding, you doing what people wouldn't do. So at some point, life is going to be easy because you don't have to worry about the things that they're worrying about, right? You don't got to worry about how the light bill going to get paid because you was doing the work. You see what I'm saying? You was up at 4 or 5 a.m. developing the plan, doing the hard stuff so that your life could be easier, right? While they sleeping in. So, one thing I tell my agents all the time, like, people, just how long are you going to keep hitting the snooze button on your own dreams? like how many times you gonna keep saying, how many times you gonna just keep punching the snooze button because you ain't ready yet, right? You still need 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, 5 years, 2 years, whatever that is, right? No, you don't. You just need to get up and do it. And that's what people don't do. And that's what separates people that are successful and not as successful, I would say, because they know when it's time to get up. See, discipline is a decision. You got to think about that, right? So you wasn't born with discipline. You had to learn that. And then you have to make a decision to be disciplined.
There you go. Yeah.
So that piece alone is what will take people further in life and further in their business, further in the growth of their business too. Because again, you can start a business. How do you maintain it? Like, how do you scale it to the next level or make sure that, you're going to be obtaining profit year after year after year and it's increasing, right? Because you shouldn't just be trying to, you should be in business to make a profit, not just to break even.
Come on now. Come on now. That's simple math. You don't even need a math degree for that.
But there's a lot of people that are in business and they just think that because they are breaking even or just just doing the bare minimum per se, that they are successful in a sense. And success is super objective, right? Or subjective. Like it's what whoever is in the eyes of the beholder. So whoever says you're successful, that's in their mind you're successful, right? But that doesn't mean I'm successful. I still got way more things to do and way more things to go. So in my mind, I'm not successful because you saw me knock off 10 things, but I got 20 things on my list. See, you didn't see, you thought I did 100%. I only did 50, right? So in my mind, I'm not even there. I'm way behind the curve.
You telling people some stuff they ain't even know nothing about, Steven.
It's facts.
It's facts. And I think I enjoy your posts so much. I don't think if you don't do nothing else, keep them going. I don't know if you have a newsletter where you can do like Steven's Corner in it, and I definitely would sign up for your newsletter list because I'm just not always on Facebook. I'm happy you starting to put them on IG. But sometimes, just waking up with that type of mindset and that type of motivation, because the things you're talking about, some people have not been exposed to that. So they don't realize that that's a potential. They don't realize that, oh my God, we can do this. There's just so many people that just, I feel so bad for some folks because I'm like, you really don't get it, do you? You can do whatever the hell you want and make whatever kind of money you want and live the life you want. And then sometimes we get upset, right? Because here we might have, I'll say this example. Me and my girlfriend were talking, and we were talking about, the whole Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday, right? And just like the craziness that goes on for entrepreneurs and small businesses during that time period, right? And she was saying, I'm so shocked at so-and-so because they got this brand new product and didn't even do nothing but like 3 emails whole weekend. You know, people was doing like 3 emails an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, I don't even understand it. And like she totally went on a vacation on Monday. And I'm like, that's Cyber Monday. And I said to her, I was like, you know what? And I think we said at the same time, like, that probably is her idea of success though. You know, because the person had also posted, oh, next year is gonna be my year of 6 figures. And we're like, you've been an entrepreneur this long and you got how many products? And you just now trying to, well, you could have gone on the man job and
Right.
just that old regular 9 to 5. What the hell you? But I had to catch myself, right? Because that's just me. If
Yeah.
I'm going out there, I'm about to go out there hard.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
But everybody isn't the same. Her idea of success may be going on these trips and just making enough money to take care of whatever bill she has. But for me, I think if I'm gonna go through all of that work, all of that planning, all that preparation, I want to make a good ROI. Now, not just that I want to make a good, because just like you, my ROI isn't just how much money I'm bringing back. I do want that self gratification. I want those intrinsic things. I want those things that make me feel good. Like, oh man, Tamika, I appreciate you for that. Getting text messages like your agent sent you will probably send me in tears now because the closer I get to 40, I'd be crying over everything. But but like it's so crazy because I truly like look for those type of reiterations that I'm doing the work I should be doing. And you got to remember too, hold on, I need you to touch on this. Everybody isn't uncomfortable being the only one. Sometimes you might get out there and you're doing something people have never seen. Now people have questions you've never heard them ask before. People have responses you've never seen them have before. You walking into rooms and not realizing that you just walking in causes the crowd to stop. You ain't had to do shit. You just hit the door. You know,
Yeah.
people aren't comfortable in that space. So kind of help us understand as your life has gone to a different level and things like that have changed where you've noticed conversations are different, interactions with people are different, reactions from people are different. Like, how have you adapted with that? Because I know that even though some people think that's a great space, that could be an uncomfortable space. How you handle it?
Yeah, that's good. So I would say all of these things happen around me, but I'm still the same. Like, I don't change. I am me. You get
All the
me
time.
here, there, anywhere, right? So if I am, which I love that people are now starting to understand and seeing, which is why they love me because they know I'm going to be upfront. I'm going to say how I feel. I'm going to do it politically correct in the right settings, right? But I'm going to make sure that my people are taken care of because it's more, I'm about the impact on, again, the end user, the people that we're impacting, the community, the community of agents, the community of people, the people that are in need. So I have to be that person. See, it takes too much time and effort to be two different people. I can't
Come
even
on
remember.
now.
Yeah, I can't
Man,
even
I be done
remember
forget what my
how
birthday was.
like, I don't have time to put on this other face, to walk to this committee meeting and come back to this church. And like, I don't have time for that. I am the same person. You're going to get me. I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm going to be honest with you. And when I tell you, I got you, I got you. Like, and I mean that, right? Because that's my commitment to myself. That's my value. That's my commitment to my people, right? One of the things that I heard this a couple of days ago. There's a guy, Coach Jimmy Ferris. He was a NFL Super Bowl player for the Patriots, and he spoke to us about a week ago at my real estate company. And he said, I'm the problem, but I'm also the solution. Right?
Wow.
So my situation will get better when I get better. So I took that and I realized, like, you know what? That's exactly what happens when I realize, like, you know what? I need to change some things. Like, yes, I'm the problem in that, but I'm also the one that can change it. Right? I don't need those external things to help me change who I am because I know what I need to change. Right?
Come on now.
There are people that can help you see certain things, but the situation doesn't change until you change. and then the things around you will change. So I feel like, you know, in our Charleston real estate market, I think, I don't know, maybe I would say probably 2 years ago, or maybe right when I opened, things were different than they are today. I have relationships. Yeah, I have relationships with people that I would not have even thought I would have a relationship with now. And on the level that I do now, but it's because they know I am who I am and I'm that way for a reason. And there's a purpose behind it. And I know that purpose. A lot of people don't understand their purpose or know their purpose. And they're trying to do things, or they're trying to do things because somebody put them up to it. Nobody put
because it
me
looks
up.
fabulous.
Yeah,
No.
nobody put things up to me. I realize I can see it and I'm going after it, right? I'll get my team assembled if I need to, but but I'm coming after it because I know it needs to be done. And like, it's a problem that people have. It's like, which is why I say, you know, a lot of your goals have to be challenging. A lot of things that you do, it has to be the hard work. And that's what people shy away from. But that's one thing I don't shy away from, which is why, again, to answer your question, that's who I am. So when I walk in these rooms, I'm answering the hard questions, right? We having a discussion about diversity and equity because I know that's what you don't want to talk about, or I know that's what you want to ask me. So we gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna stand in your face.
To the people. They ain't ready.
I'm gonna stand in your face and tell you how what you said might appear to be, you know, defensive, or might appear to be offensive to some of our people, right, or to another minority. That happens all the time, but people don't see that. People don't hear it until somebody steps up and say it. I'm usually the person to say it.
You know, and I remember when you were helping me to like, actually we had already put in a contract for my house, the house we actually, you know, I moved into, I decided to buy, blah, blah, blah. And I remember at the end, I was like, I don't remember what kind of details we were talking about. And it might have been something with the inspection. And I was like, well, did you tell him like I'm a single mom? Did you tell him like I'm doing this by myself? And you were like, and you literally waited until we were done at the closing table. And you were like, boy, when I tell you your realtor and your order was something else. They see me, a young black boy, and they just thought for sure they could have rustled my feathers, but I got it done. I mean, I was like, what? You were going through hell all the time? But people have to be ready for those type of moments. Like some people run away from those moments because they've never seen it before. Some people run away from those moments because they look at those moments and say, well, I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say that. You know, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. I have literally allowed myself to know that I've put myself in a position of being promoted or whatever, because I was just so committed to who I was and who I am and what my beliefs are. And you just got to be ready for that. If we're talking about entrepreneurship, if we're talking about just living life, period, whatever it is. And it's so crazy because in those moments where I sit back and I process, you know, pay increases, bonuses for people that I'm like, what the hell? And I know I've bust my behind 3-4 times more. You know what I'm saying? I sit there and did it saying to myself, yeah, I'm mad because I'm not taking home that money that they're taking home. But at the end of the day, I'm comfortable with me. One of my clients said to me on one of my calls, she said, one thing that attracted me to you. And I wonder if Tara's on here. She normally comes on the lives. But she said to me, she said, one of the biggest things that attracted me to you and made me glued to your YouTube channel was when on one of your videos you said, when I started HR, I was Tamika. And when I'm no longer doing HR, I'm Tamika. You got to know who the hell you are. Like, and you got to be all comfortable in that space, because the more success comes, the more things get better, the more the deposits are bigger, the more you're forgetting that payday is coming up because things are just so lovely. The more people gonna bring you some hell you ain't never seen before.
That's true.
It's just gonna happen. You're gonna see some adversities you've never seen before. But I am just so proud that we both are such champions for diversity, because it's long overdue. It's long overdue. Attention and highlight to it is long overdue. And I think that just, you know, us coming into this this different area of life where people are now seeing people of color in places they've never seen before. That could be a lot. But I thank you so much for standing up there in front of the world, because at times I'm pretty sure like you don't know who's going to see a post, you don't know who's going to hear about a conversation, but you still stand bold in it. I was watching one of your posts, and it was maybe a couple weeks ago, and it was around Veterans Day, because I remember seeing your Veterans post and I thought, oh, how powerful. Because I think you had talked briefly about like your disability, how difficult it is sometimes to get up in the morning and how much pain you're in and things like that. And I was like, man, I never even known, so that was eye-opening to me. And then you did another post around that time, and the post was saying, and it started off so differently than it ended. I was like, oh, Steven just throwing us all over the place in this post, but it started off as like a motivational, like you always do. And then it went into you saying, I remember when my credit score was in the 500s. I remember when, I didn't have, you said something about like credit card limits, and I couldn't walk into the room and be able to buy this or buy that. Da, da, da. And it just, you went down the whole thing where people who are focused on perception would never have even thought you were in that space. So I don't know if people know, you got to get rid of these ideas of what other people want to get to something you've never seen before.
Yeah.
That's
good.
It was just amazing to me.
That's good. So I do like to share that piece, because again, like, you wasn't born this way. Like, you wasn't just born into what you are today, right? Like, it took some, and you had to go through those things to get where you are today, because those are the things that are the reason why you're not still there, right?
Yeah.
You had to grow from that, right? So I think a couple of days ago, I posted something about, like, I remember a time where I could walk into a bank and I couldn't get a $500 loan, right? But today I can go in and get a $50,000 loan, and it's no cosigner, no nothing, just hit Mr. Kohn, right?
I remember the first time. Sorry.
So my point is, like, but I had to change the things that I was doing, because when I was trying to get that $500, I just wanted that to just trick off with.
Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to go do whatever, right? I was not going to use it for anything profitable at all, right? But now I know that I had to change my mindset. When my mindset changed about it, I didn't even realize, you know what? You're going to pay $500. You're going to get these people $500, right? And then you're going to pay penalty and interest, because you're probably not going to pay it on time, right? You're going to end up probably paying $1,500, $2,000 back, and now it's going to affect your credit. But when I changed my mindset about it, and it wasn't just me changing my mindset, it was me seeing other people and being around other people, where that wasn't even like, you can't even be around these people. I was embarrassed to be around somebody and be like, hey, I need $500, or I need $50, right? Or I need $100. I was like, oh, hold on, like, I got to step my game up, right? And so I think being around people that are at the level where you want to be, or at least at a level higher than you in certain areas, right? Not all, because everybody's not in the same level above you, but I think seeing that, because it made me believe that I can do it. And and then it was I think it was the accountability piece too, because I could always see them doing more, right? Or practicing what they preach. So then that inspired me to keep doing that, to keep making a way, right? To keep saving, keep learning about investment, keep educating myself. And I think one of the main things, it was, and I would also say I was kind of biased. It was kind of easy for me because I did have, my wife was in banking, so she always talked about.
Oh man, please.
So
no, that just goes back to the people around you. Don't even try to dumb down your experience. That goes to the people around you.
The people around me, she was around me a lot, obviously, and but she did just make sure that I understood like what it means, like long term, right? Credit long term, like, and so again, she was one of the people who was like, her credit score is high, like she had money in the bank, and I was like, all right, like, okay. And I went broke, but you know, my credit score
Yeah.
definitely wasn't where she was at. So I'm like, okay, now it's healthy competition, right? But you know
Mm-hmm.
what? One of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I love about her was like she knew that I could be better, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna help you get there. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna show you by my actions because I ain't stopping for you, right? I'm not gonna stop sitting here. You know, and if y'all know my wife Rachel, she is her own woman, she's independent.
Okay.
Yes, she is not stopping for nobody. But her mindset and her willingness to see me like she just took my hand and was like, hey, we gonna do this together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that, I mean, it's just one of the reasons why I just love her so much because she saw me at a place where it like not today. Like she saw me
Mm-hmm.
before any of this. Before I was in
Mm-hmm.
real estate, when I was in the military,
Mm-hmm.
I just got here, I was 21 years old. So she saw me grow and now I get to pay her back. I get to
Yeah.
spoil her. I get to do what
Don't you
I get
love
to
it?
show her. I get to show her like thank you, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
not just her though. You know, it's other people. It's my military friends that were that were higher ranking than me, but they were like, hey, listen, man, you need to do this. You need to do that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I was succeeding in certain areas of my life, but it was that financial piece that man, when I changed that, everything else changed, and
Mm-hmm.
it took some
And
time.
I was just gonna say, and I hate to just leave it on finances, because let's be real. Um, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but I sure about to share a little something. And don't you tell Rachel, because hopefully she don't watch the lives. But but I remember one thing she said to me. And this was clearly after y'all got married or whatever. And this was years later. And she said to me, she was like, but when I met Steven, because for those who may not know, like me and Rachel have known each other from just being in the same circles, like in the same environment for quite some time. And I feel like we were very similar, but we used to be on this like, hey girl, and keep it moving type of vibe. Now we get together and Steven like at the gym Saturday. Yeah, well, y'all got to talk about so much, but y'all please work out. So it's so crazy now. But one thing she said to me was, she was like, man, she was like, he couldn't have came at a more perfect time. She said, and I thank the Lord that he was so patient with me because I didn't even know that I was ready for that. She was like, I made that man be my friend for however long, like a year, 2 years, or 3 years. She was like, we were just friends. She was like, and all that time for no reason. I should have been married that man. So, I think that is, I just say that to say it's not all about finances. When you put yourself in a circle of the right people, it's about fulfillment, period. And so here you go having insecurities. Here she had insecurities, not realizing that your insecurities all the way different, but it was just a perfect marriage to help you get to a level where you are. And people have to remember that if you don't pay attention to your circle to see, like, not just who for me and who against me, but who trying to go somewhere I want to go, who is someplace where I want to be, who's going to be my cheerleader at different times, who's going to always be transparent with me, who is not going to tell me lies just to hear me shut up. You just got to be careful who you put your circle around. But Stephen, one thing I noticed is that over time, our audience has grown and we had such a good conversation. We don't forget the people over there. But I just want to say hi to these folks. I hate to go through and like not acknowledge these folks. So Bree, we are so happy to have you in the building. And Bree has been throwing us some gems all the way back when we were talking about just trying to balance ourselves and get our mind prepared because she, I've told you already, she's a life and business coach and she's just amazing. So she was just telling us that is getting your mind prepared for understanding the time frame of how long you think something takes versus how long it actually took. And that's so powerful because I think we've talked about that several times throughout our conversation tonight. And so I definitely appreciate Bree giving us that wisdom. And John, we're so happy to have you here. Again, Raven, we are so happy to see you here. I'm so surprised to see my girl Teja here. Thank you so much for coming in. And Raven is just pretty much backing us up on this whole thing where she's like, hey, listen, y'all right. Y'all talking some truth. You got to live your passion. You got to ignore the perception. And you got to know what's right. And so she is just I'm just so proud of her because she recently launched her business. She's been doing a lot of brainstorming, a lot of preparation, a lot of work for her business long before any of us can see it. Like you said, there's so many times that people think you've done 100% when in actuality you really did 50% because she's been working on this thing for quite some time. She has hair products and she focuses on the African American hair. She focuses on natural hair. She focuses on alopecia and different hair issues people may have. And so she has literally created these products, tried blends over a year, tested them over a year before she actually launched in August, I believe is when she officially launched her products. The craziest thing is she did a launch of her, and she's gonna be upset with me because I'm gonna just go ahead and give y'all the overview that it's hair grease, because she can be like, no, it's not grease, it's magic. But but her product is really, and I love her title for it because she's from Charleston, she lives in Houston now. But the product is called Bald Head Magic. And so it is a product that allows folks who have alopecia, hair issues, thinning issues, whatever, to grow it even more. So she was like, she did that launch on Halloween. Oh man, I could hear over the phone how distraught she was because the launch just didn't go like how she wanted it. And she looked at all the reasons why it shouldn't have went that way and why didn't I realize this ahead of time. But then she went out and launched minis on Black Friday. And I cried. I literally dropped some tears when I saw her post on Facebook, on IG, no makeup, nothing going on, sitting in her room, lighting real messed up. And she was just like, y'all, I'm just so happy I sold out. She had made an abundance of products for quite some time. And it just shocked her that she sold out. And she was like, I just want folks to be happy. Like, I just want them to know that this is a great product. And I just want them to show me their results. And I just want them to do this and do that. And that just goes back to us talking about your passion. Because that girl, I don't know when she slept. And she has a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old. I don't know when she slept, but that girl did not make products, send emails, text messages, post on social media the whole weekend. And I think if people don't understand that that's the kind of the grind you got to put in when you don't feel like doing it, when your children up screaming and you up late and you got to work when they sleeping, and when your spouse is like, come on, go to bed, or, it's just so many times that you have to, or if you're just like me, where my teenager's like, yeah, mama, I'll help, I'll be back. And then she ain't about that life right there, but at the end of the day, and it was funny because that's where she was when I started. I didn't even really have a vision for it. I just wanted a platform so I can educate folks. And I wanted folks to feel empowered through their job search. I was just seeing so many of us take on BS in these job offers. And I was just so frustrated with it. So I started the YouTube channel, and she was laughing at me because I was like, tell your friends that, y'all group is a group that like YouTube. Tell them to subscribe to my channel. She was like, mama, they ain't coming on when you only got 20 people. Yeah. So then I got to 100 and something. And I was like, oh, but I got 100. I got 100. Mama, they ain't coming on with just 100. So now it's so funny because now she, mama, you over 1,000? Oh, my mama big time. I hear on the phone, y'all, girl, yeah, my mama the truth. You gotta check out her YouTube channel. But during that whole time, it was like you pushing, and people don't even realize the grind that go into that push. So if you don't have the passion, you about to waste your own goddamn time because you're gonna give up way before you get to the blessings, way before you get to seeing yourself go from that 5-something credit score to that 750. I still remember back in the day when my mouth was wide open when I went to get approved for my car, and I had just bought my house, went to buy the car the next day, and I was like, the lady was like, oh yeah, you're approved for 50,000. I said 50, no, for the car. How much for the car? I was confused, legit. She was like, you have up to 50. I said, who the hell buys $50,000 worth of car?
Right. That's
I
good.
died laughing when she said that to me. I said, who, me? No, this car only 25,000. But you got to work hard to get to those days. And when you get there, sometimes you're going to be the only person in the room congratulating, but you got to just be ready for it. Stephen, I know that you've been doing a lot of stuff. So you've been doing your networking events with your agents where you bring them in and kind of let them see resources. You've also been doing I think it's like weekly lessons with your agents. Just kind of give us an update of things you've not only been doing with your agents, but things you might want to invite us to join in with you too.
Yeah, good. So I've been doing something called the Real Estate Connect. So I partner with Troy McLean of TTM Enterprises.
Okay.
So Troy, actually, it's funny because my cup is from him, says TTM.
Man, turn that cup right. Nobody want trying to give Troy no cloud up on my channel.
Let me get my boy in here. So, but we've
nice.
done 2 events called the Real Estate Connect, where it's basically to partner and connect all people, all things real estate. So contractors, plumbers, real estate agents, commercial developers, whoever, credit repair. If you service any of our industry in any form, ways, capacity, it's super invited, right? So
nice.
So we've been doing that. Our next one will be in January. It's going to be more of a workshop because I want to now show, I want people to leave with much more value. So they got the connections now to me. If they didn't make it, they'll make it another time. But they got the connections, they got the mindset. Now it's time to put in the work. So it's a series that I'm going to start in 2022. So I know they'll be super excited about that. Troy actually has another event, I think, actually next week.
He does, the holiday event, right?
The holiday
I just went to his networking event not too long ago.
Yep, I think it's the 16th, I want to say. So that'll be really good. But other things so what I do with my agents is, we have our weekly meetings and then we have mastermind groups. So one of the things that I want to do next year is have a mastermind group that opens up one to agents outside of my organization, right? So agents.
Oh wow, you're gonna invite other agents?
I am. So
oh wow, I didn't know that's a thing.
I know, right? So nobody's doing it, so I'm thinking I'm gonna do it.
You said, I love it.
So but honestly, I think it's so needed. Like, I talk to so many agents all the time, and I know sometimes it's a lot of times it's confidential, of course, but people need to hear things. And like, I'm just really sick of people just not sharing information that to me is public, or it's it's not going to hurt me to give you this information to help you help your client or help you in business, right? My goal is not to take away from you at all. So that kind of brings you to a lot of people have a mindset of scarcity versus abundance. And so instead of like, hey, we all can make it, we all can eat, right? There's enough for everybody. Instead of having that mindset, they got a dog eat type mentality, right? Yeah. Well, like, oh no, I got to get everything I got, right? Or I got to get everything I can, because if I don't, then I won't eat. Well, no, you know what? You're not going to eat because you got that type of mentality. If I reach out to somebody and I partner with somebody, guess what? We can actually do a lot more, and we both going to eat plentifully.
Yes.
So a lot of people, I'm really trying to get people out of that mindset. And it's not just real estate. This is everybody, right? Because a lot of people are in the same thing. Even if you work a corporate 9 to 5, that's people in the same mindset. Hey, y'all got the same job. Yeah, you got the same job. Like, no, I'm not going to show you how to do this report because I want to shine, right?
So are you going to do this with the Real Estate Connect event instead of it being more of like just a come get some resources type event? You're going to have them kind of sit down, do a workshop and their mastermind groups and really kind of stretch their minds. Yeah. So you think you're going to switch back and forth like over time? Because I know you said this is a long-term commitment. This isn't something you're just doing as a one-time type of thing.
It's definitely going to be open up to not just real estate industry, to everybody. And this is the point that the point that I'm trying to make is that it's for everybody, because everybody can grow from that, right? Most people are in relationship-based businesses. So, everybody can learn from, how to, first of all, how to develop the relationship, how to maintain it, how to follow up, how to, and different ways and tricks to keep those things going. So I obviously I do want to offer it to my agents first, but after that,
Yeah.
it's free game, because again, it's about everybody winning. And
Yeah.
if I can help you in your industry, I know that you're going to help somebody else. And I don't even know where that impact is going to go. But I know that because I helped you, God's going to see that back to me at some point. Right.
Man,
So
listen.
I like to do things with, so I give freely. I give all the time. The community stuff, we sponsor a lot of things. I give, right? And I made it a habit to, I made a habit of that because it's like the law of reciprocity. I know it's gonna come back, right?
I know my girl Raven about to get in the chat. She loves talking about the law of reciprocity, honey.
So I love the fact that, you know, and I don't do it, you know, because I'm wanting something back, but I know the impact is going to be out there. And then and sometimes I'll tell you, I told somebody a couple weeks ago, I was like, listen, you know, entrepreneurs, y'all got to pray for entrepreneurs now, because you can have 24 grand in the bank and you can have 24 cents in the bank. Okay. So you got to be thankful when you got
overnight too.
It can be overnight. That one check can clear. This
okay, thanks.
So you know, everybody be like, "Oh, y'all want to be an entrepreneur?" Okay, let's see how you're gonna be when you got that 24 cent. But but I love to let people understand, like, hey, you know, things ebb and flow, and you got to know how to maneuver when it's down, right? Because you know it's gonna get back up. But it's that seed that you planted 2 years ago that's gonna help you on that one day. You know, I always say I'm living the prayers that my great grandma prayed for me, right? Like I'm living in the prayers that my grandma prayed for me, and my uncle or whoever, right? Generations before me, right? And I'm praying for my great grandchildren and my grandchildren, because I know that they're gonna reach a point where they're gonna need that. And so it's important that we plant those seeds now, because it's not about just what we doing here on this earth. It's about what we leave in here and that legacy. So a lot of the work that I do is not for me at all. I get achievements and accomplishments, but I don't look for it, because I know that it's for a generation behind me, right? I invest so much into our newer agents, and most of my agents are brand new within the last 3 years. I invest into my newer agents because I know that they're going to be the ones to take over, right? When I'm gone, when I retire, like they're going to be the ones serving the clients. So I got to make sure that they prepare and they ready
and like representing your brand.
And they're representing the, which is why you have to take accountability for all of your people. See, a lot of CEOs get to, they get to the top and they don't even know what's going on at the bottom, right? Not me. Any of my agents can tell you, I'm on the phone, I text people, I'm calling you. An agent called me, I called one of my agents yesterday. She was like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know what kind of call this was. I was like, nah, I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, so I want to make sure you was living. You all right?
Okay.
I want to make sure.
Misha said that. She said that you're amazing to work for. My little cousin. I don't know, Misha. You know how we be having these cousins. Okay, and we know we call them. We know y'all call them.
Yes, Misha. I know. It's her name is actually Misha in my phone.
Okay. Because I know that ain't Misha's real name, but we call her Misha.
Yes. But,
Shawana baby.
Yes. But she's amazing. And so most of my agents are that, but I like to make sure that they know that you are valuable, right? And when you value people, like the people will take care of you. Not only are they protecting your brand and your brand ambassadors, but if you develop them in the right way, you can enable them to do whatever you need them to do, right? And they would, and they don't take it as you taking away from them, or they don't feel robbed, because they know that you're gonna always continue to give to them, right? So if you think about it, and each one of them have a different factor, that a button that I can push to make them do something. Each one of them. And I know them all.
That's so good that you know them. That's so good. Like you almost at 100 agents, and the fact that you can still say, you know them that way, you know, that's powerful, Stephen. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know how powerful that is.
Yeah.
Like that's powerful for you to know that you haven't seen one in a couple weeks. That's powerful. That's
Mhm.
culture. If
Yeah.
y'all don't know anything about culture, that's culture right there. Not just and sorry, I hope y'all won't hear Rowdy, but she's snoring like she not work a long day. But but you know, culture is what is so many different things. It's knowing the pulse of your organization, it's knowing the personalities of your organization, knowing the type of clients you have, knowing the type of business you attract, who's your niche audience, things like that. It's so many different things, and that's huge for you to know that much about your team that you know when you and talk to them in a couple of weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
You already have the Real Estate Connect coming up as an event. That's going to be more of a workshop. You're going to do more of your mastermind groups with that. You're going to eventually move that into something a little bit different, but you're trying to try different techniques with it until you find what works for you, or until you find what works for the community. What are some of the other events that you think you're going to have? Because and the reason why I keep hitting on this is because so many people said to me, oh my God. And I told you about my best friend and quite a few others. She wasn't the only one. But people were like, oh my God, I would love to work for him because he's just so amazing. Like, look at how much he does for them, and look at how much he this, and look how much he that. So I want people to know that, you know, last time you just touched on some ideas, but I'm pretty sure there's more that you could feed the group to tell us about what you're doing. So I like the Real Estate Connect idea, and I know that you've been doing workshops with your team where you've been constantly grooming them, growing them. Tell us what else you think you're doing.
Yeah. So two things. So I do have. So I think I mentioned this before. So I am. I wrote two courses now. So I was going to release one, but I prayed about it, and I was like, you need to do like a package deal. So I'm almost done with my second course, and I am going to release them both together. One touched on how to build a relationship-based business, and then the other one is how to diversify your business. And so
Oh.
it's more, and the diversity one is more about diversity, equity, inclusion, how to make sure you actually implement these things into your everyday operations. And
Mm-hmm.
so, a lot of people just post a picture and they got, a black man and a
Okay.
Hispanic woman and a white female, and they think that's diversity, right?
And the
But
rainbow flag flying in the back. Now
right,
they think they done.
right. But that's not it, right? Like, what skill sets do they bring to the mission? So, it's those things that we got to think about, and we got to make sure that,
Say that
there's a
one more
mission of
time. I
every
know
business.
you just said it, but it went out like we were having Wi-Fi connections. Repeat that one more time. I'm sorry.
So I was saying, what skill sets do they bring to achieve the mission? It's
Okay.
what do they bring to the table to make sure that that business is going to succeed? How do they
Mm-hmm.
contribute to the culture, like we talked about in the beginning? So it's those things that a talent acquisition specialist should be looking at when they're bringing people on, because
Mm-hmm.
they need to make sure, again, they're going to be the right fit, and they're also going to want to stay, right?
Yeah.
How are
Yeah.
you going to maintain what you're doing and or make sure that they're developing and you got the resources to keep them and retain
Yeah.
them, right? So those are the things too. You got to figure out, well, what do they want, right? And you got to be blunt about it, and you got to ask people, hey, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to get out of this, right? At the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, where do you feel like, when are you going to say I'm happy, or I'm satisfied, or I'm secure, right? And I'm not going anywhere. Or what's the goal? Maybe in 2 years you want to be to X, right? Maybe in 5 years you want to be here. Okay, well, let's develop a plan to get you there from day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things that I talk a lot about, especially on the relationship-based business part. Just being relatable is super important, because
Mm-hmm.
you got to stop. And it's one thing that I share on Facebook a lot. It's like, hey, I'm not out of touch, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
got
Yeah.
yes, I got degrees on my wall, but I'm still Steven. Like
Okay.
I'm still
Okay.
a regular
Come on,
person.
I'm right here.
I eat crabs, I eat oysters, like,
No, you don't eat the crab, you eat the blue crab. No.
right?
So listen, you gonna have these courses for sale, or how
Yes.
can we know about them when they release? Do you have like a website we should go
So
to, an email
I'll,
newsletter? What type of announcement you gonna give us?
yes, so I will have it'll be on my social media, so y'all can follow me at on Stephen Kohn, SCEPHEN, last name is Kohn, KOHN on Facebook. My IG handle is last name first, Kohn, KOHN, and then Stephen, STEPHEN. If you guys follow me on IG, I should be posting that hopefully by our target date is January 1st, so we'll see how that goes. But
Oh man, you're trying to do a January 1st date?
yeah, so I'm working tirelessly to finish all the edits and things, but I got a good team behind me, so they'll make sure we get it.
All
That's
right.
another thing too. You don't have to do it alone. You just gotta see. That's one thing. I tell people all the time about coaching and about getting mentors. Like, it's okay to pay a coach. It's okay to pay a
Come on
mentor,
now.
right?
Come on
Because
now.
you're paying to learn things that they know already so that you don't fail, right?
Come
So
on.
the cost of having a coach or a mentor is actually way less than you failing, spending 30 grand because you didn't hire a coach for 500, right?
Come on now. Come
They can
on.
tell you one thing that'll cost you, that'll save you money, but but your pride won't let you do it, right? Or you don't want them to be your coach because you don't want nobody to know you got a coach. Listen, I got 3 coaches.
Wow. What three? What type?
three,
What type of
three
coaches are
coaches for
they?
different things. I have a real estate coach for specifically for real estate. I have a business coach, and then I just have a life coach, or spiritual
Wow.
coach, I would say. So
Okay. So your business
because
coach and your life coach are two different people.
2 different people, and really because even though they do coincide a lot, but they are specific, and I got to be specific and focused on certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they keep me grounded and they keep me accountable on those things, and then I make sure that I achieve those goals because in coaching, and I'm a coach too myself, so I'm a real estate coach for Club Wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So and I do my clients the same way. I I hold them accountable, right? If you're not meeting your goals, then maybe we're not a good fit because you ain't ready, right?
See,
You
you know how
have
to turn down business. Yeah, when they ain't working, I'm not
you
about to just say you come on and let me get this point. Nope,
you
nope,
ain't
you ain't
you
ready.
ain't you ain't ready. So it's funny because going into 2022, my 2021 was intentional. That was my word, intentional. So everything I do
Oh,
is being intentional. So 2022 is no excuses.
oh,
Hashtag
showing out with these
excuses
words.
2022. I post listen, I post this on our in our Facebook group earlier, our Excel group. And I said I was just like, I'm not accepting no excuses in 2022. So I hope y'all ready, right? Like
You throw it
y'all,
down on the people like that?
I throw it down on the people like that. And you and they know I mean it with love, but you gotta know, like, there's no reason why you can't have what you want if you actually apply yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you going to keep making excuses or do something about it? And there's no one
Mm-hmm.
else that should be more invested into your business than you, right? You
Then
got so many
you.
people that need your help, need your expertise, all that stuff, right? So and then you gotta think, you're not the only person. We not the only people or you're not the only person that's in that mindset, that's struggling, that needs help, or that's whatever, right? But you might be one of the only persons, you're gonna stay there until you raise your hand and say, I need your help,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
stay in that same place until your ego goes down, your pride, you get humbled and say, you know what? Damn, let me just pay the $500 there.
Okay, okay, just fuck them. But
Right.
but Raven said something in the chat that really made me giggle. But before I get to that, I want to say what she said that is really powerful. That the right coach or mentor is invaluable, and you hit on that so many times. So you're absolutely correct. But I don't know. Are you familiar with Grant Cardone?
Oh yeah.
She said you sounded like Grant Cardone.
I have to
I
go.
love it.
I used to follow him a couple years ago. I haven't been to
You
see.
haven't paid
I wanted
attention
to
in a
go
while.
to. Yeah, I wanted to go to one of his conferences in Miami, but I had another event. But I heard it was good, so I definitely got to attend the next one.
Yes, yes, yeah. Grant on some other shit now. I really appreciate him.
Yeah.
Grant was showing the interior of his jet, and I thought it was like a Escalade, like a Extended Escalade, and I was like, that's a whole private jet. No, that thing too big. You know how you normally get enough. Well, you've seen private jets where because we used to do private jets for like
Yeah.
organ and tissue donation or whatever. And like it's literally like it's not like a commercial plane. It's like one row, the
Yeah.
aisle in the middle, and it's
Yeah.
like not like 6 seats on each side. You feeling that but crazy turbulence. And I looked at Grant when I said, damn, I know they ain't getting no turbulence out of it. We can stretch our legs. Like Grant on some other stuff. But Stephen, I'm not gonna hold you up tonight. I know you got a wife. I know you have kids. I know she was out running errands and things, and so I don't want you to be disconnected from your family. But I thank you so much. First of all, before we get off here, there's one thing I wanted us to mention so long ago, and if I don't write it down, I don't remember it. But I hope to see you this Saturday because I definitely will be back at Full Circle Fitness, y'all. Sean Stewart is doing free Saturdays until 2022.
Yeah.
So y'all have no excuse to not go up in there. Don't pay attention to how he whooping my ass. Y'all just come on in and get your workout done.
Yes.
So I definitely wanted to shout him out. He's gonna be on next Thursday with us, and without you, I probably wouldn't have known Sean because I know you've been working out with him even before he got his gym. Like it's been a long, long time. Yeah. And so I am super duper excited about the fact that I work from home now because my plan is to stay committed to it. But he's doing the Full Circle Fitness is doing free Saturdays, and y'all, he didn't ask me to get put out a plug and nothing like that. This is how I roll. Like y'all, my people, I fuck with you. I'm gonna tell everybody. So
and that's my guy.
That's Steven's guy for real, and he just is real as Steven. I can't wait to have him on next week, because he'll beat you up and make you feel like I laughed my way through it. Steven, how I did laugh my way through getting beat up. All
yeah, but you lived though. You here?
I did. I made it out. 4 bottles of water in that 2 hours, but I made it.
Yep.
But anyhow, so we're definitely gonna do that, and I don't know, Steven. I mean, totally up to you. I know our schedules are like insane because we almost didn't get on this time. We had so much going on, but maybe we should definitely try looking at doing it again. I don't know. Completely up to you. I don't know where HR may be. I don't know where we will be, but you just know that if I stay at 1,300 subs, if I go down to 500 subs, or if I get to 13,000, 130,000, Excel Realty and Stephen Kohn will always have a platform here. So I just appreciate you coming on. I appreciate what you're doing for the community. I appreciate what you're doing for realtors who's trying to find their way. I appreciate what you're doing for the connecting industries that touch the realtor world. I appreciate what you're doing for the people who didn't know they needed your touching. For those people who don't know how to say, man, without Stephen, like everybody doesn't have it in them to send you that message like your agent would send you, or don't have your text message, your cell phone number, or they don't know that you're on social media. Maybe they aren't on social media. I am thanking you for them because you're doing great things. You're doing great things. I am so privileged and proud to say that I know you, not just that I know of you, but that I know you and that I'm connected with you and that I can reach out to you because you've made monumental moves in no time. I just can't wait to see where you go at. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing.
Yes,
God's gonna keep blessing you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the platform. I'm proud to see you as well. Like you continuing to do this thing. You haven't given up. You've only gone up, and I love to see that. So thank you for your consistency and your commitment to it because it's people that you're connecting people to that there's an impact you don't even know, right? So God's just going to continue to bless you. I don't care if it's 2 people watching on here, when they see the recording, this is gonna be forever, right? So you just keep doing what you're doing. If they don't see you, I see you. I'm watching, and I'm proud of you.
I appreciate it, Stephen. I really do. You touching my heart, man, because, I think we're in the same space. We're doing something we never seen done before. So it's pretty, it's a scary ride, but I think that each time we get to a different level, it's so rewarding. So I hope to just meet you at the top, man.
That's it. We gonna party.
I'm gonna bring my 1738 that time.
Let's go.
All right, man. You have a good night, okay? Tell Rich I said hi. Y'all have a blessed Christmas, a happy New Year. I'm gonna see y'all in the meantime. And I don't know if y'all come to the gym every Saturday, but I'm gonna see you.
We'll be there. We'll see you Saturday.
Okay, have a good one.